Every 2019 Honda Accord is on sale during the model year-end sale. Well-qualified buyers can save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the 2019 Honda Accord. That's right, save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the Honda Accord during the model year-end sale. Going on now at your local Honda dealer. See dealer for financing details. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Honda, I like it. Oh yeah, I like it.
What's that smell? Just like cornbread done too well. What you need, you know I got. So hands up, who wants to rock?
Good evening, Metal Faithful. It is I, the Man Data Reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich, and this is the Metal Hammer of Doom, the podcast where we review new and exciting, fascinating, new heavy metal albums week after week after week. We go track by track by track. We try to break down the music for you as best we can. We're just fans here, not musicians. But what you're going to get, what we lack in being able to tell you what's going on musically in a song, we more than make up for in dick jokes.
And immaturity.
And speaking of all he wants to do is fuck himself tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's Jesse Starcher. How do you do, sir?
I looked in the mirror and I almost missed the show. That's what happened. Man, we're going to have a fun time tonight.
Can you believe the year's over already?
I cannot. Now, I think it's only October, but I mean, are we just calling it because we're reviewing Steel Panther tonight? Is that the way this works? We're like, year's done.
Yep. Yeah, the year. As far as music goes, the year is over. It's not getting any better than Steel Panther Heavy Metal Rules. Can you believe, Jesse, this album got negative reviews from professional reviewers?
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Well, now, I mean, wow. Well, I don't know. I could maybe see some room for improvement.
Here
but
comes
I mean,
Johnny Cochran to defend the fucking professional reviewers.
I mean, you can only do so many. I would say, oh my goodness, what's the best term, Mark? Help me out. So many references to genitalia. How's that?
But that's the thing. Like, I listened through this album a couple of times yesterday, and I really do feel like they actually, to a degree, I mean, granted, there's some of that on here, but when you think about Lower the Bar and the albums that came out before it, I feel like this is the least fucking bitches album they've done. The least fucking bitches album they've done. When you think about, like, Let's Get High Tonight, this may come as a surprise to people because this is a very deep band, but it's about getting high.
It's a very deep band.
I'm Not Your Bitch is about not being emasculated by your woman. It has that sort of Def Leppard, Let's Get Rocked, you're like 40 years old, stop complaining about taking out the trash vibe to it. But it's certainly not fucking bitches.
No, you're right. You're right.
Fuck everybody. I mean, that came right out of the Joker movie.
on the soundtrack.
Heavy Metal Rules, I mean, that's just about their love of the genre. And then, you got Sneaky Little Bitch and then God's a Pussy. Those are right in there with the usual. But, I mean, I just named you a handful of songs here that stray away from the usual Steel Panther vibe. And then I Ain't Buying What You're Selling. I mean, that's like an anthem, right?
It's almost as serious as they're going to get on this album, too.
Well, yeah, this isn't Tool.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's tough to say that I would put this above All You Can Eat, because I really liked a lot of the songs off of there. I think as far as what I've listened to, I think that one right there is one of my... I think that might be my favorite.
Wasn't All You Can Eat, though, just one song after another about fucking broads?
Oh, yeah. Gangbanging at the old folks' home.
Yeah.
Fucking my heart in the ass.
So, if a lot of the... And I'm going to read some of this to you because it's truly disheartening. And we're having such a good night because as we're recording it's a Wednesday night. The Wednesday night wars are in full effect between AEW Dynamite and NXT. Dynamite! And the first hour of Dynamite was just fucking fantastic. And so I was very excited. And then I go and I look at the Wikipedia for Heavy Metal Rules, and I'm seeing all this negativity. Do you know what incel rock is, by the way? First of all, do you know what an incel is?
Boy. You've used that term quite a few times, and I think
I haven't. Somebody else has, not me. I've never used the term incel because I hadn't heard it until recently.
Oh, no, wait a second. I'm confusing that with cisgender. You've used cisgender.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I use all the time.
Incel, though, is that like somebody who is really wants to, like, they want to get laid, but they can't, so they get aggravated about it?
I didn't realize that's what they were called, because I just called them neckbeards.
Okay. Neckbeards sounds like, similar to a redneck to me. Just, but...
Incels are a portmanteau of involuntary celibates, or as I used to call them, losers.
Okay.
Are members of an online subculture who define themselves as unable to find a romantic or sexual partner despite desiring one, a state they describe as inceldom. I didn't realize this was a thing that needed a label. I just thought you fat bearded fucks who somehow can't get fucking laid, in a world with Tinder. I like, dude.
There's no way that this is incel rock.
Had Tinder and Twitter been around when I was dating, I'm not sure I would have gotten married. That's all I'm saying. Just kidding. I love my children. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? I don't. So this is. I love the fact that where we are in this culture at the time. Maybe it's always been this way, but online puts a microscope to just about everything, magnifying glass, I should say. That things that exist in the culture, but they just existed, and they didn't necessarily have a label. Now have a label and are editorialized in mass media. There's an ongoing public conversation about neckbeards that can't get laid. That's where we are right now. Why?
We gotta label everything, Mark. Everything has to have a name. Everything has to have a label.
And we apparently have to talk about it publicly.
Yeah. Well, if it can be described and if it can be labeled, then we must denigrate it and talk it to death. That's just the way the online life is.
Like fat fuck neckbeard metalhead wrestling fans have enough problems. Do we really need labels in public conversations too?
Incel. Okay, so they're calling this incel rock or incel metal.
Yeah. Let me read this to you. Well, now that I'm cracking my fucking self up.
Let's hear it.
Somebody out there is just like, you would be one of us if you weren't married. No, that's the point. Is I have married and get laid and had 2 kids, so fuck off. Well, down where? Down here. Anyway, I did that at work the other day.
Oh, nice.
in a room full of women.
Oh, boy.
Then there was another guy in the room, and then we both just started doing crotch chops and then talking about the art of the crotch chop. We decided that doing it, because he likes the X-Pac way of doing it, where you just beat the shit out of your crotch with chops.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I always thought that was excessive. Just one hearty, dramatic meow, and let everyone know where your junk is. That's all you need to do. Anywho.
All right, then.
Heavy Metal Rules receive generally mixed to negative reviews from critics, who Jesse loves and wants to marry.
Sure.
One semi-nice defense, and I
Yeah,
can't let you...
all I said was it's not as good as that other album, but that's okay. I champion the critics here, please.
We're having fun, Jesse.
Oh, yes.
Being criticized for its lyrics and overall lack of refreshment, being called unfunny and repetitive. I don't agree with that at all. NME's Jordan Bassett gave the album a wholly negative review, awarding the album 1 star out of 5, and stated that the band is not funny, summarizing that they're gag.
Not funny.
He held his nose. Not funny. This does not reach my level of humor, and I'm so funny. I'm named after a dog, a basset hound. Summarizing that their gag involves dumb guitar riffs and even dumber lyrics about sex. Dude, one of their lifts they ripped right from Led Zeppelin, so go suck a dick, pal. To dumber lyrics about sex, babes, and metal. And describing it as gleeful misogyny, and here it is. You ready?
Oh, please, let me hear it.
Gleeful misogyny and incel rock. Basset Hound concluded by writing that if you have never had sex, you might like this album.
How are you going to even understand what the hell the guys are saying?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I mean, I guess at a certain age you understand what Pornhub is, and then you're just like, oh man, not only can I watch it online, I can listen to it all day. Steel Panther rules.
It's only got 1 star because NME Content Management System doesn't currently support 0 stars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. You cheeky. What a cheeky bastard.
Yes. Kerrang gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Metal Hammer 2 stars out of 5. NME 1 star. However, Blabbermouth and Ultimate Guitar gave it positive reviews. 7.5 out of 10, and 7.7 out of 10 respectively. So, I can tell you right now, we haven't heard one track yet, and the Metal Hammer of Doom, the Radulich and Broadcasting Network's giving it 11 out of 10 stars.
11 out of 10. That damn good.
Take that.
Wow. Man, oh man. I'm looking at some of the comments on the Blabbermouth reviews, and I'm just like, the first comment is about my favorite song off this album, and they're shitting all over it.
Fuck everybody.
So, yep. I don't understand why this guy says, from what I've heard so far, this album isn't that good. Fuck everybody is ultra generic and lame. Is that all you got? Wow. What do you... First off, this is a gimmick band, okay? We know kind of what to expect from these guys. If you've listened to their first album, going all the way back to, what was it? Feel the Steel, Death to All But Metal. The humor, I mean, it has tracks on there, Fat Girl, Eatin' Ain't Cheatin', okay? That is 2009's Feel the Steel. So there's plenty of songs on here that you are going to get what you expect. So yeah, you're just going to get what is expected here. So I don't know, man. I mean, if there's going to be a conversation made about maybe they're in a decline, we can talk about that. But I wasn't completely uninterested in what they offered on the album. So, I mean, with that being said, I say we get into it, man.
All right. The album drops September 27, 2019. This is their 5th studio album. They had their first single, Always Gonna Be a Hoe. was released on August 9th. They've released a few singles since then. They did some videos. We did it at Metal Hammer of Doom on this first track. Now, we're not going to play like the whole Zebra Man thing from Heavy Metal Parking Lot.
That's what I thought that was from. I couldn't piece that together. I was like, I know I've heard this somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just going to skip right over that. We're going to get to... This song is just catchy as fuck. That's all I'm going to say. All right? This song, I have been singing it at work. I have been singing it at home. I have been singing it all day long, all day, every fucking day. This is all I want to do is fuck myself tonight. I mean, how do you not, like, hum that at work?
It's tough not to. I've had to listen to this album, I'd say about 3 or 4 times, and the only time I can usually listen to it is when I'm at work, because that's when I have my headphones in. Cannot listen to this one around the house, that's for sure.
Oh, I told you. I had this bumping in the car, and I turned to my son and I said, listen, you want to be a cool kid? You need to be listening to some Steel Panther. And he's like, yeah, I'll stick to Kids Place Live on Sirius XM and Imagine Dragons. I'm like, you nerd.
He's like, Dad, where's the Kids Bop? This is... Steel Panther covers only Kids Bop. That'd be interesting. Oh, geez.
Could you imagine?
That's
my. Gross.
No, don't do that.
You sit in the corner, Jesse. You need a timeout. No, I mean, this song is catchy as all hell, like I said before. This has got some really... I mean, look, the musicianship on Steel Panther is, like, at a minimum adequate. You know, this isn't like Dragon Force or anything. These guys aren't all over the place, but they can play. And here's the thing, you know, not every album has to be this, you know, to the 10th power autistic representation of all things you can do with a string instrument. You know, sometimes the object is to just create memorable hooks and catchy lyrics. And that is all I want to do is fuck myself tonight all over. Mm-hmm. You know, super catchy hook. It's just weird that a band that sort of defines itself by just running through a bevy of cum dumpsters wrote a song about masturbation. It's weird.
Yeah,
I struggle with this song. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, like it's fun to sing. It's fun to, you know, to just kind of bop around to. But when I think about it, it's just like, you guys seemingly get laid at will. What do you mean all you want to do is masturbate? I don't understand what's going on in this song.
They are a great... It's absurd. And I think that's the whole point. I mean, that's the whole point. It's like, well, you know, they could... I mean, when we get to Gods of Pussy, I mean, they are clearly... You know, clearly they're the hair band. Again, they're the hair band that takes everything to the extreme and to the absurd extreme, too.
If this is a parody of the ego of glam metal...
Yes.
The inherent ego in glam metal, then okay, it works as a parody, but that's the thing, like, where does the parody in Steel Panther end and the authenticity begin? Because I do think that there's a degree of that inherent in this band. This is a band that, when metal got super serious and, you know, and everything, you know, you had that sort of It was so I think I can't remember the name of the band now. It's not Nickelback. It's not Nickelback. They were just click boom. Who did that?
Oh, POD.
Nope.
Okay. The shit. Click boom was not POD. You're right.
No.
I want to say it starts with an S.
Buckcherry, maybe? No.
Nope.
Wasn't Buckcherry. Saliva.
Saliva. There we go.
Yeah, like that Saliva. Like you'll hear no crying ass bitching from me, like it seems to be on everybody's TV. Like it was so bad with a lot of metal bands for a while, where it was, we talked about this with Korn, where it's just like who were like the paragons of pouring your heart out through metal, to where there was a backlash from it, where it's just like, remember when metal used to be fucking fun? It used to be about, like, cocaine and tits and, like, what happened? Why won't we have fun anymore? And I think that's where Steel Panther lands for me, where it's like, I think inherently that's their modus operandi. Like, we didn't get into a band to not have fun. Like, we got into a band to be artists, write music, but to also live the life. And I think that comes out in their music. So that's why I say, like, it's hard to firmly define where the parody of metal ends and where the authenticity and the philosophy of metal begins. Does that make sense?
I could see where you're struggling with that. I mean, I really lean towards the whole parody side of things with this band, because there's very little when I get into the lyrics of anything where I'm just like, okay, they're obviously serious here, because normally if there is something that seems like they're serious about an issue, that's when we get fuck everybody. That's where their anger is actually coming out. But they always inject enough humor into every single one of their songs.
Yeah, they're not Slipknot.
No, there's always something there to make you go, okay, that was kind of funny. But yeah, I'm more of the parody type guy. Yeah, I'm glad you said glam metal, because yes, that's what this really feels like. They're just making a parody or a funny representation of glam artists at the time. Just looking at themselves, and specifically with this song, they're looking at themselves and they think so much of their they think so much of themselves that. Well, I could get laid, but my goodness, all I want to do is just look at myself in the mirror and look at this fine thing. Funny stuff. And yeah, as you said, this song's pretty catchy. I enjoy it because I think it's a swell opener. It's nothing it's nothing to crap on. So I like it.
Sets the tone, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, let's see. I'm just taking a look here. Well, how many expletives are in song titles? We got this one, one.
If you're gonna count bitch.
Okay, we're not going to count hoe. We won't count hoe. We'll count bitch. We'll count fuck everybody.
Sure.
Sneaky little bitch.
Yep. Pussy.
God's a pussy. And then so that's 6. I think I'm counting there, 5 or 6. So what do you expect when you
It's 5.
take the CD
it's
off
5
the
out
shelf?
of like 9 total songs.
You take this CD off the shelf and you look at the back cover, and it has all these songs listed there. You think you're going to get some serious metal?
Well, it's funny, and I want to play the next song here, but there is an inherent resentment of women, I think, that comes from Steel Panther, and that may sound obvious, but like I'm like specifically calling women out on their collective bullshit is a big part of the Steel Panther modus operandi. And I can see where that would drive reviewers right up the wall who are struggling to maintain a modern sensibility so that they don't get disinvited to parties or fired from their magazine.
Well, again, that's taking this band so seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't...
You can't ignore... Come on, you're going to tell me that these guys don't harbor a degree of resentment?
Towards women? No,
Yeah.
I think what it is in their songs, they're well, okay. When we get to Sneaky Little Bitch, okay, maybe so.
But think about their last album. I've wasted too much time fucking you.
They've obviously been on the bad end of some relationships.
Really? Did you pick that up from Always Gonna Be a Hoe?
Maybe. Maybe. And this is their outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that they, to any reviewers that are upset that they take this route to go and voice their opinion on how they've been treated and their art, I guess you'd say. I mean, you can't get too upset about them. They're just using what they know to convey their feelings. We've listened to many artists on this podcast do the exact same thing with politics, with their own personal feelings. So I can't hold it against them. And plus, they do it in a. Oh boy, are we bad people for laughing at it now? Is that what? Is that what?
I'm not taking that on. I will laugh and laugh heartily and defend my laughter to anybody that criticizes
Yeah,
it.
how dare you find this funny?
Yeah, fuck those people. All right, you ready to get high?
Oh, let's get high tonight, buddy.
Oh, as the paraphrase the bassist in the band that I was in high school, we don't actually do drugs. We just like to hear songs about it. This is Let's Get High Tonight.
Mom and Dad are out of town. Call the horse, it's going down. Let's all fuck until the dawn. Fornicate on the neighbor's lawn. Let's get high tonight. Let the brain cells fry tonight.
And it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's like the anthem to a fucking NC-17 '80s sex romp comedy. That's exactly what it is. Especially this. There's a few verses there near the end. 30 pizzas, a bottle of Dom, Amex card, please and thank you, Mom. Girls lined up all on their knees. Don't jizz on the sofa, please.
Well, at least they're polite and said please.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, hey, it just puts me in the mind of a couple kids putting a party together. It gets a little out of control. That's Steel Panther.
I think if somebody had to ask me, like, how would you sum up Steel Panther, I said they heartily celebrate vice.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. All right, they did a video for this song. We didn't do the Metal Hammer of Doom for Always Gonna Be a Hoe because there's a whole, like, long opening to it, and it just would have taken forever. So, but it's worth checking out the video. The video's fucking hilarious.
Now, this is the one we did, isn't it? This is the one we did the video on for the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra?
No, I thought it was All I Want to Do Is Fuck Myself.
No, because this is the one that's got Satchel, and he's taking on the other guy's lady, and he's watching it all, sitting there.
Oh, you're right. We did it we did do the Metal Hammer of Doom on this one, but I have it backwards.
Yeah, you said All I Want to Do Was Fuck Myself was like a mini movie or something.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I had it backwards. So there's this long-ass video for All I Want to Do Is Fuck Myself Tonight, which we skipped. Instead, we did the one for Always Gonna Be a Hoe, though this one is hilarious, too. So if you have an opportunity to check out our Metal Hammer of Doom Extra, wherever you subscribe to podcasts, make sure you're subscribing to the Radulich Broadcasting Network. You can hear us talk about the video. But here's the single for Always Gonna Be a Hoe, speaking of resentment towards women.
I fell in love with someone sweet and pure, but you became the world's biggest whore. I went away for a few weeks or more. You fucked more deals than I fucked girls on the tour.
enough of that.
So we get a whole, sad love ballad about this guy who's upset because his woman cheats on him more than he cheats on her.
Yeah, fuck that. I'll do the cheating in this relationship. Thank you very much. Nah. Look, I mean, but this is what I said before. Like, which is like, look, I kid you about it, but I'm always willing to hear a counter argument, and we don't have to agree. But I don't see a counter argument to this band not harboring some resentment towards women. I mean, they clearly, whether through parody or some ingrained feeling that they then project into parody, they clearly see women in a negative light. If they're not utterly objectified, they are resented. And it comes out in their music. I can't help but see it. Okay.
I don't know if this song is an example that I would use. Well, my thoughts on this one were like they were just sitting around. I'm like, okay, well, what's the glam life like? Okay, well, you're on tour, you're screwing girl after girl after girl, but what's going to break a man's heart more than the woman that he decides to try and keep around?
But is that not a common trope?
Yes, it's very common, and they took a magnifying glass and turned it up to 10. Again, they do it with just about everything.
Do you remember when Triple H showed up to Tough Enough and was like, want to know what your husband or wife's doing at home? Don't know. You're on the road. And people, like, the implication is that you'll most likely be cheated on because you're not there for your spouse. Like,
yeah.
So I again, that's why whether it's something they are dealing with from a personal standpoint or just sort of playing with the trope of your mates cheating on you while you're on the road, either way, like, for me, the song is funny. And I think the song is pretty well crafted. But like I said, I think there's an undercurrent of resentment in that song.
Okay. Is there no man you haven't laid? Has your vagina never seen the shade? Oh, funny stuff. Funny stuff. I don't know. I come into this and, I have no rhyme or reason to sit there and think that I'm going to get some kind of message out of this album in any way, or actually understand where the fuck these guys are coming from. I am like, well, okay, I know that they're going to be talking about girls, they're going to be talking about screwing, and they're going to be, every once in a while, they'll talk about something else that pisses them off, or something funny. But it's 90% of the time it's going to be sexually related.
I think they start off, I think there's a kernel of truth in all of their songs, and then they just ramp it up like a pro wrestler.
I could see that. And I imagine this next one is probably a good example.
Oh my God. I was just going on and on and on about this song to my wife tonight. I was like, let me tell you about this song on the new Steel Panther. And she's such a patient woman.
She puts up with your shit.
She does. Well, I put up with her, she puts up with mine. That's what makes a marriage work, ladies and gentlemen. For all you incels out there.
Yeah, take advice from us.
Yeah.
When you get a woman, okay?
Make sure you tell them that you're not their bitch. That's how you keep them in line.
Funny story.
Funny story about that before I play the song. So, and I don't know how you and your wife are, if you like play off each other. I mean, I've heard you talk a little bit about that, but you tend to be less of an open book about that sort of thing than I am on here, and that's fine. I'm not necessarily setting you up to talk about it, but we went to a party not that long ago. It was a month or two ago, and one of our old friends was there, and this guy is like perpetually single. He's been in a number of relationships. He's almost been married at least twice, And so it's not like he hasn't dated or gotten laid or anything like that, but he can't seem to stick the landing on any of these relationships. Mm. And he is one of those like doormat super nice guys. Like whatever else about his personality, which that's not what the story's about, I don't want to get into it. But the point I'm bringing this up, and the important detail is he's one of these guys that just puts all women on a pedestal. Okay. And he's super nice and he's super sweet, saccharine sweet. And he's like a hopeless romantic. One of the guys that you just want to punch right in the dick. And I don't know if people have picked this up about me, but I'm kind of an asshole.
Yeah. Oh, well then.
And I know when to kind of whip it out, so to speak, and when to put it back in. I know where it's appropriate to be that way, and when it's not. I'm pretty good at reading a room. But I have that part of myself that's just that it's a part of my character, and it's not going away anytime soon. I also ramp it up or ramp it back down where needed. So moving on, we're at this party, and I said or did something that was really asshole-ish to my wife in front of him.
Yeah.
And she laughed. Now, she gave me shit about it because that's the kind of the nature of our relationship is we call each other out on our crap.
Sure.
And we keep each other kind of in line. It's actually if you ask her, it's one of the reasons why she wanted to marry me, because she knew that I wasn't going to let her get away with being, princess bullshit. And he just kind of took a beat, and looked at me. He was like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, "Do what?" And he's like, "How do you talk that way to her or act that way and get away with it? Why does she like you for it?" And then, and it sounds like he was being critical of me, but he then followed that up with, "And can you teach it to me?"
Teach me how.
Because it seems like that's the only way to get a girl is to be a dick. And that's certainly the belief that some people have. That's certainly a trope that's out there, is that bad boys get the girls, good boys are incels, I guess. I don't fucking know anymore. I don't know what's going on in this world, Jesse.
Too many fucking labels.
But so I hear a song like "I'm Not Your Bitch," and that is like the ultimate like asshole song.
Oh yeah, yeah. This guy, he tells her to shut her trap. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I'm sorry. He says, "For someone else to walk right into your trap, you wore out your welcome. I'm be taking a nap." All right. So yeah, I mean this is a fun one. This is a fun one. This is the one that like almost a good portion of men would love to be able to do. It's just like you said, you have a significant other that can call. Number one, they can stand your bullshit. And number two, they'll call you on it. And you find a happy medium in between that. Like, okay, well, their love is still there.
It's like the foundation of it.
Yeah, in the particular case here with this guy, and what we're going to get here with "I'm Not Your Bitch," this dude's just not even. He's not going to do anything.
Like I said, this is more "Let's Get Rocked" by Def Leppard than it is, just calling a woman out on her nonsense. So
yeah,
here we go. This is "I'm Not Your Bitch."
Pick up your clothes.
That's a killer fucking riff, dude.
I thought this was probably one of the heaviest songs off this album.
Yeah.
I really love the way that it starts.
Those are crunchy fucking killer, like, rough riffs, man. Like,
yeah.
Because this band, like I said, it models itself after more of like a Poison, to a degree, Motley Crue, and that was like one of the heaviest songs I've ever heard them do. Yeah,
it's pretty good. Is that really what love is all about?
Yeah.
It's funny because again, these guys are taking a trope or some cliche and really ramping it up. And granted, like I said, this is something everybody would probably love to say at some point to their significant other.
I would recommend saying it.
I'm not your bitch. Take trash out yourself. The fuck if you're asking me? I've got fucking baseball to watch.
Goddamn right.
Damn it. That usually doesn't go so well, though.
No, it really doesn't. And and I have taken out lots of trash in my lifetime, but that's the thing. Like we split it up. She does her chores, I do my chores, and there's just stuff that both of us don't like doing in taking care of a house and kids, and so I do the parts that I don't mind doing. She does the parts she doesn't mind doing, and we avoid doing the things we don't like, and it works out really well.
How many times have you had to buy maxi pads or tampons in your life?
Believe it or not that many. I don't.
She's never sent you into the store and sat in the car and said you need to go pick these up.
Did I tell you what fucking happened this weekend?
I doubt it. Let's hear it.
I come home from whatever the fuck it was I was doing, and I was, and I'm like, I came home and I kind of took a nap. I was I wasn't feeling very well, and I got up. And she'd been working in the kitchen, putting all the stuff back from, we just had our kitchen redone. And finally, the fucking, the construction people, finished with the kitchen and everything. So we could actually put stuff back in it. So I brought all the stuff in there and I kind of laid it on the floor and was like, here, put things where you want to put them. This is kind of your domain. Mm. And, or as, Jesse likes to say about his wife, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen.
Take the fucking shoes off first.
Anyway, so she'd been working in there, and then I get up from my nap, and I'm like, hey, what are we doing about dinner tonight? And we're kind of going back and forth over should we cook now that we finally have a working kitchen again, or should we go out to eat because we're going to watch Hell in the Cell. And literally, the kickoff of Hell in the Cell had just started, and she's like, why don't? And I mentioned something about wings, I didn't want a full dinner, I just kind of wanted wings and nibbles. And she's like, that sounds like a great idea. You should go to Publix.
And Q scene.
She's like, why don't you go to Publix? Oh, and while you're there, we need milk.
Oh.
And I'm like, really? 2 hours I was sitting doing nothing. And as the one thing I wanted to watch tonight starts, it's fucking...
Why don't you go to the store?
Why don't you go to the grocery store?
How about I don't fucking go to the store?
Yeah. Well, I really wanted wings, so I went. But I made my son come with me because if I have to suffer, so does he.
Get your ass in the car, son. We go on somewhere. I've been there. I have been there. I was there yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Do your kids whine and moan that it's going to take too long?
Oh, dude, can you imagine these kids running the country? Nothing will be fast enough for them.
No.
Nothing will. And I'm thinking to myself, was I like that when I was a kid? Was I bored every fucking single second that I wasn't doing something or I didn't have my fucking face in something?
No, but if my father had ever said, get in the car, we're going to go somewhere, and I've been like, why do we have to go so hard? He'd have punched me right the fuck in the face. He'd have been fucking George Foreman on that shit. He just would have, bam, I wouldn't have seen it coming. Just knocked
you get in there willingly, or I knock your ass out and then put you in the car.
Yeah, my father's fist was about the size of my head. I would have lost math. So with that said, let's get on with the show here. You ready for the next one?
I'm ready, man. Hit it.
All right. This is a little ditty, a little romantic number we like to call Fuck Everybody.
Stupid fucking
want to give Jesse a chance to speak to the group because he's the one that texted me about this first and was like, "This is my jam," and I'm like, "Oh, woo, Jesse, we're having troubles."
Oh wow, boy! If this doesn't speak to you, look, I'm usually a pretty laid back guy, okay, but I've had some times where I may have gotten a little upset, and I've gotten to the point where it's just close to breaking, and it just seems like every fucking person is not exactly understanding the day that I'm going through. There is one specific verse in here that was very, very accurate to something that happened to me a few years back, and I got so fucking fed up. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you the story. So the verses after what we just kind of stopped at there, he talks about how he stepped in some dog shit coming home last night in his fucking driveway, okay? And he says he doesn't even own a dog. So... And then the final part is pick up after your mastiff, you lazy fucking cunt. So before we moved into the place I'm in right now, we lived beside a lady whose daughter lived there and her 3 grandchildren, and they had a dog, big fucking dog. Trust me, laid some big fucking piles of shit. And she had some fucking habit of wanting to take the dog out and walk the dog, and she'd let the dog take shits in my yard, and then she wouldn't pick them up. So I'd be out there mowing the lawn, and then all of a sudden, like when your mower blade hits one of these fucking dog piles, oh yeah, it smells wonderful. Just fucking wonderful. So about, I don't know, maybe a month and a half into this, I'm out there mowing the yard, and I hit one, and I'm like, fuck this. So I go out and I grab a snow shovel and I start picking these things up and launching them over to the next door neighbor. So you just see me picking up dog shit and then just flinging it like 10 feet in the air, and it would land in their driveway, and I'm just having a fucking ball. And shortly after that, believe it or not, they didn't let the dog walk in our yard anymore. So... yeah, I've been there. There's been days where I'm just like, man, fuck everybody. This is my favorite one off of here just because it speaks to some real shit. I mean, if we're going to say that any song off of here is really close to talking about some experiences that these guys actually have, this is probably it for sure. I love it. I mean, every time I listen to this song, it's just like I want to play it for everybody because everybody's got to hear this song because they would identify with it, you know. So, love it, man. Good stuff.
It is. Like, look, there's not a bad song on this album. I mean, like I'm obviously ramping up when I say, you know, it's the best album of the year, but I truly believe, like, if you know what it is you're getting into and you're not like judging it against some album that's just full of expert craftsmanship, I mean, there's not a song on here that I would skip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not bored with this album at any point. This isn't background noise. Like all of these songs, like I was singing in the car.
Loudly.
I'm like texting you at like stoplights. I'm like, oh my god, this fucking song, dude.
I know it, man. There's some good stuff on here. I definitely say "Fuck Everybody's" a standout track. Would you say which one is it so far? I mean, is it this one, or do you have another one that's coming up that's your favorite? Or
I would say my 2 favorite ones on here are "All I Want to Do Is Fuck Myself." I can't get over how catchy that song is. I know
Stuck in your head.
Already. Yeah, that is like that's the biggest earworm. And then the other one, just because of the crunchy riffs, is "I'm Not Your Bitch."
Yeah, that's a good heavy starter. So
yeah,
I hear you. That's good stuff.
All right, so this next one, you know, this is yet more of their issues with the gals not being true, because guys can fuck around, but girls, come on now. That's the philosophy, at least. The sneaky little bitch. fucking my heart right in the ass. Yeah, I fucked up. I skipped Heavy Metal Rules. Sorry.
That's all right.
We'll go back and do it next, in a second. Hey, did you happen to catch the riff there? No. I
you
mentioned.
said something about Led Zeppelin earlier.
Yeah. My computer's being a fucker, but see if you can pull up. Don't pull up the Led Zeppelin version. Pull up Stone Temple Pilots doing Dancing Days.
Yes, I that one I did recognize immediately.
Okay.
I knew that. I was like, okay, that sounds like Stone Temple Pilots. And then you mentioned Led Zeppelin, and that is that a cover?
Yes.
Okay.
On
right.
the on the Inconium, I think it's called. Look it up real quick. But yeah, Stone Temple Pilots is on there, and they do a cover of Dancing Days. Dancing Days are here again.
I'm trying to think of what album that is. Porn Star Dancing by My Darkest Day. What is that? What the hell? Oh, thank you, Spotify.
You know what? It's on. It says it's on the Purple album.
Is it Purple? Okay, all right. I was going to say there's a few Stone Temple Pilots I know back and forth, and I think that is one I heard quite a bit on Purple.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, it was originally from the album Encomium, a tribute to what is it? What that we used to say all the time? Metaconia.
Metaconia, Enconium.
Encomium, a tribute to Led Zeppelin.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
Very good.
Which also had on it. I wonder if did you ever hear this?
Never hear what?
Fucking
That album?
Yes.
No, I've never heard of it. How do you spell it?
Encomium. QF bat signal.
Fuck you. INCOM.
ENCOMIUM.
There's our problem.
Misty Mountain Hop. Four Non Blondes. Hey, what can I do? Hootie and the Blowfish. Dire Maker, Shadow Crow, which is fucking amazing, by the way.
Is this only 4 songs, or is it just not? There's
the whole thing must not be on Spotify.
Yeah, I'm got issues there.
Dancing Days, Stone Temple Pilots, Tangerine by Big Head Todd and the Monsters.
Never heard of that band.
You've never heard of Big Head Todd?
Afraid not.
You've never heard of Big Head Todd and the Monsters?
Answer's still the same.
Thank You by Duran Duran, Out on the Tiles, Blind Melon, Good Times, Bad Times by Cracker, Custard Pie by Helmet, with David Yo of the Jesus Lizard. You ever hear the Jesus Lizard?
Nope.
4 Sticks by the Rollins Band, Going to California by Never the Bride, and then Down by the Seaside by Robert Plant and Tori Amos.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's where that riff is from. Yeah, Sneaky Little Bitch is, like I said, not a bad song on here, but Sneaky Little Bitch is right smack in the middle of what Steel Panther does.
Yeah. I don't really have much else to add to that, other than he at one point says, "Wish that I could give you herpes more than once." So
amazing. These guys are fucking poets. All right, this next one I fucked up. I skipped it before. This is a celebration of the genre we love so much. This is Heavy Metal Rules.
Couldn't make no money as a singer, didn't seem to get too far. So I sell pop brownies and vodka down from the backseat of my car. Moving back to Chicago, gonna rest my aching head. Spotify took my last 2 cents and the butter for my bread. Gene Simmons said it. Rock and roll is dead. Rock and roll is dead. I never
So I've never heard the term nose beer before. And I just learned something new tonight. So there you go.
We learned a lot of new things. We learned about incels.
Yes, we did. If the Metal Hammer of Doom is not educational enough for our listeners, I just don't know what their problem is.
Yeah. So, heavy metal rules. I like the idea behind it. There's a germ of a good idea here. Not so sure the execution really lives up to the potential of the theme.
Mm-hmm. It could be a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
There's
Could
parts
be.
in this where I'm just like, okay, well, heavy metal rules. Why are we not like fucking going insane with?
How are you
screaming
not
it?
on the mountaintop with the chick from Rage of Light?
Yes, yes, I could tell you probably why, but
Because they were throwing her off the mountaintop?
well, one of two things is going to happen. She's going off the mountaintop, or they're getting laid. I have no idea.
Probably both. Probably just bang her right off the mountaintop.
I don't know what happened. First we were having sex, and next thing I know, she's down at the bottom of the mountain.
I jammed it up her ass, and she fucking took off like a rocket.
I don't know what's going on here. Oh boy.
We're gonna get letters. I can see it now.
We are a parody as well, ladies and gentlemen. Okay?
Sure.
Please try not to take us seriously.
Good excuse.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of good excuses, this next one's called God's Motherfucking Pussy. Pussy.
Sometimes it's hard when all the girls wanna fuck you. So you fuck them once, but they just keep coming back. And there's other girls, your dick wants someone new. But the bitches you fucked before are caught blocking you. God's a pussy, God's a pussy, putting our wines in the sweet booties, making them gush in the back of the bus. God's a pussy, God's a pussy.
God's a pussy. God's a pussy. Jesse Starcher is a god of pussy.
I'm telling you. This may be the first album that cursed more than we actually did on the podcast.
That is a feat and a fucking half, dude.
That's crazy. So, it's hilarious that they wrote a song about how they get so much ass that it's a problem. Most of everything in here is talking about how it's so tough that they have to get laid all the time.
That opening line about sometimes it's hard fucking all... Like what?
Exactly.
What a
That's
burden.
what makes this band funny.
What a burden. Yeah, totally. Tongue firmly planted in cheek. And in vagina.
Clearly. Clearly.
All right, let's get this last one done here and get out for the night.
All right.
This is This is their fucking socio-political song right here. This is their commentary on 2019. This is I ain't buying what you're selling.
I don't need a crystal ball to tell me that I'll be dead from liver failure. Just wait around and see. Don't need acupuncture to rid me of my pain. I've got pharmaceuticals and no plans to abstain. 'Cause I ain't buying what you're selling. 'Cause I ain't buying what you're selling. need confession to absolve me of my sins. They're as much a part of me as a fish is to his fins. And I don't need the government or a social safety net. That Ponzi scheme will crash someday if it hasn't started yet. And I ain't buying what you're selling.
Who'd have fucking thought Steel Panther was not a fan of the New Deal?
The New Deal. Why don't you go ahead and explain that to our listeners so they understand what you're talking about?
I'm going to explain it to you because you don't know what I'm talking about.
How about you fuck off? I know exactly what you're talking about. Quickly goes to Wikipedia. Now, you've mentioned the New Deal before, and I think we were talking about, I wish I knew what the hell we was talking about, but I'm sure it was something on the comic podcast.
Yeah.
So go ahead, explain.
The New Deal came out of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's multiple terms as president. It was a reaction to the Great Depression, which came on the tail end of the Roaring '20s here in America, and it was where the federal government, you gotta understand the way the country was designed was that basically each state was kind of like its own little country, but it was unified under one military, and the federal government was responsible for making sure there was interstate commerce and travel that was protected, so that the state economies would be able to benefit from trade with each other. Okay, so the United States of America was supposed to have strong state governments, individualized state governments that were only unified under a single military and a system of roads, basically, and ability to trade without unfettered trade.
Mm-hmm.
And then, slowly but surely, the federal government got more and more power. It did things like the Louisiana Purchase, which was not directly defined in the Constitution. We fought a fucking war over, states' rights, which was played out in the debate over slavery. And who thought they were going to get this in the Steel Panther review?
I told you, we fucking learned them one.
But when the stock market crashed and took the economy with it, and we had the Great Depression, that's when the federal government made a giant leap forward in taking power upon itself in order to attempt to rectify the ravaging impoverishment of the average American as a result of the Great Depression. So, in short, the New Deal was the creation of several federal programs to help stem the rising tide of poverty. None of it worked, and the only reason why we got over the Great Depression was because the world started blowing itself up in World War II.
Okay, and you believe that Steel Panther just made a commentary about that?
I don't need no social safety nets. That's just a Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
Whether they're directly referencing the New Deal, probably not. But they are definitely referencing like the federal government creating social safety nets.
Sure.
It's in the goddamn song. I didn't make that up.
No, that's part of the lyrics. That's part of the lyrics. So what are they trying to say then? Are they just saying like, they're well past being saved? Because a lot of that kind of comes out there at the beginning. Like he's like, I'm going to die of liver failure. You don't have to fucking tell me that. I already know it.
I think it's it's a very conservative philosophy, isn't it? It's kind of pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, take care of yourself, hang on to, kind of a don't depend on the government to take care of you. Mm-hmm. Very, very conservative philosophy out of a band that talks about, running a train on as many girls as possible.
At the very end of this,
these guys voted for Trump. I know they did. If they voted at all.
Trump does get mentioned in that one song, and Fuck Everybody, I believe. I think. But anyway, yeah, at the end of the song, as if it couldn't be, as serious as you could potentially get for a Steel Panther song. He says, "I don't need conspiracies or ufology to distract me from my happy life or mediocrity. I've got a labradoodle and I've got the gift of song. And when that's not enough, I take a ripper off my bong."
Yeah, buddy.
They will fucking be as serious as they could be, and then all of a sudden they throw shit like that in there.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay,
They're like
now
stand-up
that's Steel
comics,
Yeah, Yep.
It's just set up, punchline.
I like it. I like
Yep.
it. My final thoughts here. I know you're going to get into yours, but my final thoughts are this again is there's room for improvement as we get to the next album. I think for sure. There were some criticisms I saw where they talked about the lyric writing was kind of ham-fisted and just not as great as it could be. But again, I wasn't expecting fucking. I wasn't expecting Blind Guardian here. Okay, I wasn't expecting.
This is not a night at the opera.
Yeah, this is not Epica. This is not something that's just fucking, I'm supposed to take seriously. I'm not going to. So, when they drop their next album, you can guarantee it will be reviewed right here on the Metal Hammer of Doom.
You know what I think, Jesse?
Tell me.
A+.
A++.
Unless Body Count drops Carnivore before the end of the year, this is my favorite album of the year, bar none.
Ooh, wow. Well,
it's far superior to anything we've heard this year.
I will. Okay. You're a parody, sir. You are a parody.
I am not. I am authentic.
Yeah, I would probably put it in the top half maybe of the year. It's not going to crack. I don't think it's going to crack my top 10. So, well, hey.
What are you, woke over there?
Fucking dude, I can't tell you how many times that I've listened to the terror behind, what the hell was it called? The Galactic Vortex from fucking...
oh my god, Glory Hammer.
Glory Hammer. I mean, I've listened to that album at least 2 or 3 times in the past week.
That says so much about you and I. Like, of all the stuff that we've covered, it's just like, well, how do you sum up Mark and Jesse? Glory Hammer and Steel Panther.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know what we've got upcoming too. There's one album for sure I've listened to a lot, and probably the most so far.
As I Lay Dying.
Yes, that album is fucking badass. And then Lacuna Coil hasn't dropped their album yet, so I'm curious as to what that's going to sound like. So I think it's Steel Panther's got a lot of competition for me anyway. I know you're going to put it right up there.
No, we're done.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're not doing the podcast anymore, Jesse. We've retired it until Steel Panther drops another album. We'll be back.
There's nothing else to talk about. So we do have a slight change in the calendar. Next we've got Baby Metal, Metal Galaxy, then Lacuna Coil, Black Anima, then Mayhem, Demon, then the aforementioned As I Lay Dying, which we bumped KMFDM off the calendar to accommodate that album. So thank you, Jesse, everybody. Thank you, Jesse.
We'll have a good conversation, at least.
Then we have Blind Guardian, then Dragon Force, and then instead of doing Kiss. See, originally we were going to do 80s Kiss the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, homecoming night, but Pat is the one that suggested we do that, and he's not going to be able to make those shows because he works in a grocery store and he'll be busy selling turkeys. So instead, we're going to... Because by that point, Wu-Tang and American Saga will have ended. We'll be doing a TV party for that show, and then we're gonna follow up with something I wasn't gonna do until January, but we just basically swap shows. So November 27th, Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers.
Biatch. Oh man, I am into episode 3, I think 2 or 3 of the Hulu series, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually... this is a band that I don't know much about, and I didn't listen to a whole lot, and I could probably tell you that 2 weeks prior to when we cover that album will be the first time I've ever listened to that album all the way through. Yeah. So I can't wait to talk about it and talk about the show, too.
It's one of the great albums. So I'm excited about this, and then we'll do the 80s Kiss stuff in January when, Pat's not busy and we don't have anything else to review. So after the Wu-Tang Clan, though, we've got Life of Agony, and then that's it. Life of Agony is going to be the last album we do this year, unless Carnivore gets dropped. I will figure out how to get Carnivore on the schedule. God damn it.
We will do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll
do it.
I'll do it Christmas Day night. I don't give a shit.
You don't care. You don't care.
I'll drag Jesse away from his family.
Fucking Ice-T would be like, Merry Christmas. Mark would be like, all right, let's do a show. Here we go.
It's 9 o'clock at night on Christmas Day. The kids are your kids are done. You belong to me now. Merry Christmas. It's Carnivore time.
Here we go.
All right. I haven't checked the schedule. I haven't checked the Wikipedia page to see if they've dropped the album, if they've dropped a date yet. So I could be saying all this, and people are like, yeah, it's coming out whenever. I'm like, damn it. I actually got to figure this out now. All right, so that's that. That's the show. I hope you've enjoyed our fuckery. Tomorrow on TV Party Tonight, we'll be reviewing Pennyworth. Isn't that right, you tosser?
Oh, son of a bitch. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
All sorts of fun English speak that I can't remember right now.
Yes, indeedy. We dropped a Hell in the Cell. Me and the two Chris's dropped a Hell in the Cell review today, and there was much rejoicing. Myself, Robert Winfrey, and Alexis Haina reviewed the Joker movie, and then Jesse and I also reviewed Joker by Brian Azzarello on Source Material. Next week, it's all, speaking of British people, it's all Constantine all the time. Constantine, Hellblazer, Dangerous Habits, Constantine the TV series, the aforementioned Baby Metal, and then we'll be doing an on-trial for the Constantine movie starring Keanu Reeves. Also, we should be doing a alternative coverage for Alexander Usyk versus Sam Hammenegger. Tyrone Spong tested positive, so they found some jabroni to replace him. I'm pissed about this. But damn it, I'm going to cover this fight anyway because whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Alexander Usyk will beat the fuck out of this guy, and, it'll be a lot of fun to watch. So that's it for the Metal Hammer of Doom. Jesse, take me home, baby doll.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, go give the Radulich In Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. We also have a Patreon out there. If you are interested in being a patron, go check out Patreon. Type in Radulich. There's some extra content out there if you're interested in comics, movies, all that fun stuff. There's a little bit extra out there. And all you have to do, listen, all we ask for is a custom donation. It could be as low as $1 a month. That's pretty low, if you ask me. So, yeah, you can get a little bit extra content, and I know there's a little bit extra content in the works here. So, other than that, Mark, let's get the heck out of here, buddy. Sign us off.
All right. Thank you for joining us here in the Metal Hammer of Doom tonight. For Jesse Starcher of the Source Material Podcast, I'm your mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. Be well, be safe, and fuck yourself tonight.
Make refreshing changes throughout your home this fall and save by starting with Lowe's. Add new appliances and get deals like up to 35% off select appliance special values, including a 24.7 cubic foot Whirlpool French door refrigerator, just $15.99. Show your home's true colors with a new coat of paint and save on top-rated one-coat paints from HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, starting at just $35.98 a gallon every day. Whatever projects you have on your to-do list, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Appliance offer valid through 10/23, U.S. only.
Every 2019 Honda CR-V is on sale during the model year-end sale. Well-qualified buyers can save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the 2019 Honda CR-V. That's right, save thousands today with 1.9% APR financing on the Honda CR-V. Don't miss the model year-end sale going on now at your local Honda dealer. See dealer for financing details. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Honda, I like it.